Hey everyone, it's Faheem, pharmacy prescriber, contractor, fan of Medlin. I don't actually want to make this video because I don't like my top. I'm not going to lie to you, but we're going to shoot it because I want you folks to have an absolute great time with this video today. And what we're going to discuss is a question that you all asked for, and that is, how do we prepare for the IP course? It's a great question. I think if you have been thinking this, you are absolutely on the right track. Something that Farouk, my mentor, my friend, my brother, always says to me: preparation is important. So if you're asking this question on how to prepare for the IP course, you're on the right track. Now, as always, we need you to subscribe, like, and share to this channel because you're part of our family, and every time you support us, we can make an absolute difference in this world and produce some great content that you're going to enjoy. But what I want to do today is break this video down into 3 little chunks. We're going to discuss the academic preparation, and that's the one I want to actually put a start here. That is the one where a lot of people get stung or stuck on. The clinical preparation, that's going to help, and also general. We've got a friend here, the time clock, and you could probably guess what that means, but we're going to discuss this in depth later on. Now, first thing I need you to do, I need you, once you watch this video, to pause and have a look at the course learning outcomes for the independent prescribing course. I need you to absolutely understand what is the aim or the objective of the course. Once I've completed the course, what will I be learning from the course? The reason is because a lot of students who undertake the IP course, they seem to think that once I qualify, I'm going to become a clinician. I'm going to turn into this magical, wonderful GP that can manage everything. That is a big cross. No. That's not what happens. So read the course learning outcomes. Look at what is it that you are going to have to do and what you'll be able to do at the end of the course. And I'll tell you from the outset, if you're thinking that at the end of this course, I'll be able to diagnose, manage, and treat disease, big cross, that's not what's going to happen. This course does not teach you that. In actual fact, what this course teaches you, and nicely links here, is how to ensure or demonstrate, that you are a competent prescriber. Let's repeat that again. What this course is going to teach you is you are going to be able to demonstrate that you are a competent prescriber. And for that, you need to read the RPS framework. The RPS framework for independent prescribing. This is a set of standards that you have to be able to evidence across or show that you meet. And if you visit the Medlin website, I've written an article on there in depth about the RPS framework, on how you can demonstrate the various competencies. And this will be familiar if you've done your pre-reg, because you would know in your pre-reg year, you had a set of standards that you had to evidence across, and it's the same thing here. So, quick recap. Step number 1, pause the video and have a look at the learning outcomes for the course. Understand that if I don't have the clinical skills, I won't magically turn into a doctor in 6 months. That's not the purpose of the course. I want you to also read the RPS framework. Visit the Medlin website, have a look at the article on the RPS framework, which explains everything about what you have to be able to demonstrate that you can do. Then some academic skills, folks. This is a course that's either taught at level 7 or level 6. Don't worry about the jargon too much, but what you must be able to do is you need to be able to reference. And if you cannot reference, then go do some research, find out how to do Vancouver or Harvard referencing. There's also plenty of AI tools that can help you. But my thoughts on AI is it should be there to make things more efficient, not to replace your mind from thinking. So if you can already reference and you understand referencing, to make your time efficient, maybe have a look at AI. But if you don't know anything about referencing and you don't even understand how it works, don't lose your brain cells. Learn and use your mind so it keeps growing. So find out how to reference. Then we're talking about critical reflection. This is all about you looking at what's happened, what the benefits were, and how your practice will change next. I'll explain in a second. If you've seen Harry Potter, and I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, and you'll see Dumbledore actually at one point, the wizard, remove his thoughts. He takes his thoughts and he casts them aside. he puts them aside. Then what he can do is he can visit those thoughts again and look at what's happened. He can look at what's happened, he can analyze what's happened, and then what he's going to do next. So he can relive those memories and see where things have gone well, where things haven't gone well, any links he can see, how things can be improved. And this is exactly what you're going to be doing as a prescriber. You're going to see, and we reflect all the time, but this is the way to do it, is where you're going to be actively thinking about your practice, having a look at what's happened in your practice. Maybe you've seen a patient who's had, let's say you or the patient's been wrongly diagnosed with a condition. Now you can reflect. What happened? Why was it wrongly diagnosed? How did that make you feel? What will you do in your practice to improve? So you need to look at critical reflection. You need to look at how to reflect. And there's plenty of textbooks that can help you in critical reflection. Get in touch with us at Medland. We can support you, but you need to be able to reflect because you're going to do this a lot. Start searching this up now. Then we have critical reasoning and critical appraisal. Again, what is critical reasoning? Look, when we're trying to be critical, what we're saying is, like the newspapers, you have all this information that's out there now on any topic. How do you decide which one to trust? That's all it is. All you're doing is you're criticizing. You're saying, wait a second, how can this be true? Why is this true? What did this person say about this? How can any of this be true? What's the evidence? You are critiquing. You're criticizing what you're seeing and saying, wait a second, I don't take it as just blind faith. So you have to be able to reason. Why do we give, for example, a pneumonia? Why do you prescribe antibiotics? Why don't we give painkillers? Or why don't we give a gel? You need to decide why. What's the evidence for it? And then when you look at the evidence, can you critique the evidence? Is there any bias for the evidence? Was the person who wrote the article working for a big multinational pharma company? Is there any bias? So these skills are important. And I'll tell you what you can do. For referencing, simply there's plenty of websites. Universities can help you with how to reference. Have a look at the Vancouver model or have a look at Harvard. Depends on university. Reflecting, you need to have a search. Just go onto Google and type in becoming a critical reflection or becoming a reflective practitioner. And also what you can do, have a look at some models. What about the Gibbs model to reflection? That's I believe it's BBS. It's not that clear, but it's Gibbs model. So Gibbs model, and Farouk would like this to be a bit more clear, Gibbs. My English is not the best. I don't even know how I passed my exams, to be honest, but Gibbs model of reflection. Driscoll is another one. They can help you. Read them. Gibbs model or Driscoll's model of reflection. Clinical reasoning, clinical appraisal. The CASP, C-A-S-P. The CASP checklist can definitely help you with how you critically appraise papers. CASP checklist, have a look at it. And critical reasoning, there's a book. It's called ABC of Critical Reasoning. ABC of Critical Reasoning, have a look at that. That's what your next steps are. So for the academic side, your steps are, number 1, read the course learning outcomes. Number 2, read the RPS framework. Understand what is it that I need to be able to demonstrate. Number 3, research referencing. Critical reflection, have a look at the Gibbs or Driscoll's model. Critical reasoning, have a look at the book. It's called ABC for Critical Reasoning. And then for critical appraisal, have a look at the CASP checklist. Beautiful. You'll enjoy that. Then we move on to clinical. How do you prepare clinically? Number 1, history taking. You need to be able to take a thorough history. If you cannot take a history, you're not going to be able to see patients. You're not going to be able to get through the course because the course does not teach you clinical skills. It's there to test your clinical skills. What about your scope of practice? Do you understand your scope of practice inside out? And I've done a big video, I don't know if it's a big video, but I did a video recently on choosing your scope of practice, understanding your scope of practice. So have a look at that. Then your examination skills. Learn how to examine the respiratory system, cardiovascular system, musculoskeletal system, ENT, peripheral vascular system, dermatology, and so on, and abdomen. So make sure you can do that. Steps. Number 1, history taking. I want you to have a quick or get hold of the Bates textbook. Bates textbook will cover your history taking and examination skills. Bates. Your scope of practice, visit Medland, will help you with that. Then lastly, we move on to general. And my friend here, which is so important in all our lives, is a clock. It's an attempted clock. Timekeeping skills. You are no longer a full-time student that you can dedicate 8 hours a day to this. You've got to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, and you need a timetable in place which can support you through your course. Because if you don't time keep, this course is all about time management. Some of you are going to have full-time jobs, families, some of you are going to be married, some of you in the process of a divorce, whatever it might be. Timekeeping, time management, very, very important. So to summarize, what I need you folks to do, you need to be academically strong. Otherwise, you're going to panic for the course. You need to be clinically ready for the course. And you need to be able to time manage. As always, I hope you found this video useful. Subscribe, like our channel, visit us at MedLearn, and thank you for everybody out there that supports me, and a big thank you to Farouk. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Faheem, pharmacy prescriber, contractor, fan of MedLearn. I don't actually want to make this video because I don't like my top. I'm not going to lie to you, but we're going to shoot it because I want you folks to have an absolute great time with this video today. And what we're going to discuss is a question that you all